Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Spring Season Professionals Tournament. And then it's day one of the finals. Today we're gonna see the first team getting knocked out of the top four, and those are gonna be some exciting matches. The pressure is definitely on because from here on out, places 1, 2, and 3 get money for their results, but place 4 does not. So it makes it all the more interesting to reach the top 3 and of course reach top 1, but you know what I mean. But yeah, today we are gonna be watching, we're gonna start off with TBT versus XR, and then we're gonna see what happens. We don't know exactly what I'm gonna be streaming after, because that all depends on the results, and I think that I'm gonna be streaming the winner of TBT versus XR versus the winner of the winner of TNM versus Low. That is what I would expect, but we don't exactly know. I'm going to take away the preview and let you look at what it looks like in the game right now. These are the 4 clans that are going to be battling today, and one of these 4 clans will disappear out of the top 4 today. Well, technically they will still be in the top 4, but you know what I mean. And after that, we have next weekend, we have the last round of the double elimination before we know who takes on the winner of the 2 matches that we will likely see today in the grand finals. So we do have a bit of a change compared to earlier games. We now enter a stage of best of 7, which means that generally there's more time between everything. Because there's more games that have to be fit in if they all get played. And it also means that we get more maps. And all in all, I think that is more fair to add to the matches the further we go. Mainly because of the fact that you don't want anyone to win based on a bit of luck or a bit of RNG or just a map that they are a little bit stronger on. So in that way, I quite like the whole idea. I'm just of having more maps. I am waiting for a room invite that should be up in 3 minutes. It's not here yet though, so we have to wait a little bit. And that means that I can take you over the maps that we will start with. Like I said, we start with TBT versus XR. And we're gonna start on the map Desert Sands, which looks like this. You have the train track in the middle, base A on the left side and B and C on the right side. C fairly protected, B quite open, but you can potentially get a cheeky cap. Base A is a little bit more protected as well, but you can get shots into base B from there. And overall, I quite like going base A because I feel the positioning in the desert area rather than the building area is better and it allows me to do more. We have seen quite some fighting happening in the desert. Not a lot of clans and teams actually focus on the whole, the whole city side of the map, and I think that is a good call overall, because of the fact that you have those buildings, you can side scrape and all of that, but you can't really dominate all that much of the map, and that's quite what I like about the desert side. You can get so many sneaky shots in and all of that. It just works better in my opinion. So in the meantime, I'm doing the YouTube thing and then I'll take you to the next map. Just have to wait for YouTube to allow me to start streaming because that's what YouTube wants me to do. And that always takes a few seconds, so don't mind my babbling. Here we go. We are officially live now. Well, not technically, in like a few seconds we will be live. But that is basically it, and then we will be set to go. So let's see, I had the first map, just making sure I didn't get a room invite in the meantime. The second map we go to is Fort Despair, which looks like this. You have base A, which is completely open, base B that is a little more protected, and base C that is quite protected, but there are still lines of fire possible into all of them. So personally, I always feel that people on this map go to B and C, and that is everything to do with base A being so open. You can get shot basically from everywhere on base A, whereas B can lead to a cheeky cap. It is relatively easily protected once you get it. And there is the room invite, and let us go there. And now we just have to wait until we actually go into the battle. But we still have some maps to go over, so I'll do that. That's one of the reasons why it can actually be nice to have 5 minutes, because I have 2 more maps to go over with you. Like I said, people generally tend to focus on base B and C because they are more protected, but it also means that we see a lot of side scraping, and considering this is a very small map, there's not all that much movement possible on this map, but that also makes it one of the more interesting maps to watch. And of course, I'm always wondering if we're gonna see a guerrilla push like we've seen Raid do. We don't know, but we might. Now the third map that we're gonna get is Port Bay. Port Bay looks like this. You have base C a little bit up in the hills with a giant hill thing overlooking the city. You have base B on a square and base A in the harbor. And it is quite a fun map. It allows for a lot of action. I'm not all that much a fan of it, but I do prefer going base C and then dominating base B from there and just basically move on from base C, because I feel that it is easier to keep the high ground than it is to take the high ground. So that's why I focus on that side of the map. And then if we get a tiebreaker, we go to Canyon. Canyon is a fun map. We saw it yesterday with the stages as well. Base C is actually a bit more in the corner than the map shows, but we have base B on top of a little hill. Basically, if you go there and cap it, the chances of you getting shot to hell are quite big. And we have base A behind some buildings, and it just overall makes for an interesting map because there's so many height differences, so many covers, but also so many ways to cheekily shot places. You can, for instance, shoot base B from base C. Well, that's a little bit harder to do from base A, but with the train tracks you have lots of people that basically stay back and, well, not necessarily camp, but try to decap base B from there. So that is it. I'm gonna take away the map so that it doesn't get in the way. We have a full TBT team present, and XR is still gathering. They have still had 2.5 minutes to actually do this, so that is plenty of time. And let us see. TBT currently has selected. They are not quite entirely sure yet. But we see 1, 2, 3 IS-4s, a 268, a 140, and potentially 2 113s. So one of them might still change. So that's relative armor. We generally see IS-4s with every matchup. And it's one of the strongest tanks that we currently have in tier 10, I think. Well, not necessarily the strongest, but more the combination of DPM and armor and speed just balances out quite nicely. And we see XR now present with a full team of... They haven't quite decided yet either, but they still have a minute and a half left to go. But we see 1, 2, 3 140s, 1, 2, 3 IS-4s, potentially, and a 113. And I think the changes are mostly ammo loadout, maybe camouflage or something. But we don't really see tank changing. But they still have a minute to ready up. And there we go, XR is fully ready. TBT is still deciding. With 50 seconds left on the clock. So we are just waiting. And then we get to go and we get to see who wins of this. Kauhe being moved out. And moved back in. I wouldn't be joking around with that, to be honest. Both teams are now completely ready up. We have 20 seconds left to go, so that's nice in time. There is no map on the screen for you guys, so you just see the game. And of course the banner on the side. And here we go, countdown clock. We are ready. Let's go. Almost everyone a pro, only Masayasu and Yuzuja. Probably pronouncing everything wrong. There we go. Up and away. Let's see what they do. We have a big train going towards the desert with the Object 140 leading. And if that Object 140 is not careful, he will meet 3 Object 140s on the other side. He has been spotted, so he has to be careful. And I wonder if the Object 140s are just gonna rush straight on in. We see the first shots being taken, but no HP being lost just yet. Charlotte moving through the middle. TBT repositioning themselves, and there goes Tau. He gets a big shot in the bum. And another one, and another one. That cost him quite a lot of HP. And basically now TBT is forced into a corner, and that can't go well. We have Masahayu that is moving in. Bounce is being made on the 113. People are getting in each other's way. And it looks like XR is basically sort of rushing. We see some shots going on. Damage being done. Kirit standing way up there in a very tempting position to shoot, and he is the first one to die. Now Kenta is being shot quite badly. Rosario seems to be the next target in line. There goes Tau, but there also goes Rosario. And it's basically all about the focus fire now. Who focus fires best? 2 more guns being out of the equation now. And we basically entered a full-on brawl. And they have to stick together. There goes Rory. And now both teams have lost 3 guns. And the focus fire seems to be pretty much gone. They are all going for separate targets, and I don't think that's a good call, because it is about the focus fire. And even though... Ooh, that was a nice shot. Even though TBT, it doesn't have the HP advantage anymore either. Fool Boy is almost gone. There he goes. It is now 3 versus 2. And Kawe is not really in a position to help his teammate. There we go. It is 2 versus 2. But there's quite a bit more HP on XR's side. And Kawe is wasting precious time wanting to shoot the same target. And that's gonna cost him another life. And there he goes, and then it will be a 1v1 soon. Ooh, not yet. He's losing precious HP. There we go. But now this is not looking good. Very little HP left. He's probably gonna be HE'd now. And that bounce did not help. And the first game will be XR's. Ooh, that little damage though. And he's still alive with 8 HP. But this is not gonna last because he was already shooting HE, and there he goes. And like I said, the first game is for XR. And it was just sad because you saw TBT lose the focus fire. They were focusing on too many different targets. And that cost them the game. It was buying them an advantage, but it didn't last. So now we get the second match in just over a minute and a half. TBT completely readied up with 3 IS-4s, 2 113s, an Object 140 and 2 6.8. So that's the same lineup as last match. I wonder if they're gonna do something different with it now though. I like how XR basically pushed them into a corner and made them sorry, basically. And XR now completely readied up with 3 Object 140s, 3 IS-4s, and a 113. We see Kenta unreadying, but there he is again. We still have a minute left to go, but we are all ready to go. And basically, even if you lose this battle, you're not fully out of the top 4 yet, because it's a double elimination system, and that means you still get a chance to fight your way back up. So we have the winner of this match and the winner of the other match that is happening simultaneously will go head to head. Same with the losers, and of the losers, the one that loses that battle will be knocked out. So we have 23 seconds left to go. We are ready. There's no map on the screen. I am readied up so we won't miss the battle. And I wonder if we're gonna see Tao be a bit more cautious now, because the way those tanks pushed up through the middle, that was actually quite nice. Very nicely done. I'm just taking a bit of a drink there. And here we go. Let's go up, up and away. And again, TBT focusing primarily on the desert. We see the object. Well, basically, we seem to be seeing a sort of mirror action happening that we saw the last match. Masayasu going more into the middle. People being spotted. But Tao is more careful this time around. And we see the first little bit of damage going in. Most of XR has not been spotted yet. Now they have. And no war, and Kaohe might be in trouble there, but they played quite safely. And we see the 113 together with the object 140 pushing in with no war in the middle there. Shots being fired, not much happening, no damage being done. And the object 140s are being pushed. And they're being pushed over the ledge. Ooh, that was a massive hit into Flash there. Rosario taking some damage, no war now being rushed. That was an expensive miss though. Fool Boy being basically left alone. And that's the first gun out of the equation. The 140s are at the back, facing off against Tao. There goes Fool Boy. There goes Flash. And I'm focusing on this bit of action now. It's basically a little bit of crossfire. There goes Yuzitsa. And now XR has lost 3 guns. And this was quite nicely pushed by TBT. Charlotte now getting singled out a little bit. Kaohe pushing out a little bit too far. Shots being fired into I'm your mammy. Object 140 on the other side of the train tracks, but he can't really do much. Charlotte being pushed. He's not gonna survive much longer. We just have to wait until the reload. And that miss could have been quite expensive if not for the fact that it is 6 versus 4. 268 has been tracked. And he's just going to go for the object, I think. There we go. Tao being focused, but he still manages to survive. It is 6 versus 1. It is 6 versus none. And the second battle is for TBT. And I like how we pretty much saw the same thing happening, only now TBT was more ready for it. And they changed their own playstyle to incorporate it, and it really worked out for them. So we see TBT almost completely ready for Fort Despair, which is where we're going now, with 3 IS-4s, a grill, 2 mice and an E3, whereas XR is readying up in 140, 2 113s, 2 IS-4s, a mouse and a YOLO wagon. YOLO wagon being the Object 263, by the way, for those that don't know. And the reason that it is called that is because it's so troll, they can be very forwards with it, and I've seen some epic matches with people doing just that. So we have just under a minute left to go before we enter the match. Plenty of time, but we are all ready. And I'm not going to show you the map again. I think you know what Fort Despair is. And we will see what happens, where they go. And like I said, it's a best of 7 now, so it's a little bit more fair and looking at team skills rather than a little bit of luck with the maps and all of that. I like anything above best of 3, to be honest, because best of 3 is just nah. If you get a bad map or you just have an unlucky moment, it can cost you so dearly so quickly. And now we are at 10 seconds and the countdown clock is beginning and we are ready to go. And here we go. And I'm very curious to see how the YOLO weapon performs here. This is not typically a map where I would expect that. And we see both teams heading a bit towards C and, well, actually, XR isn't. They're pushing fully towards the middle, which makes sense with the 2 mice. We have the 263 that is going to protect base C. And he will be meeting a mouse and the E3 there. Frost shot going into the mouse there. No War wanting some help, but there's pretty much no one there. He just doesn't know that. And we have people in the corner. We have people basically everywhere. The teams are both quite spread out. And we have one lone camper at the back. Mouse is getting shot at, but it did no damage. No War now moving in. Charlotte losing a bit of HP there. And the mouse is holding. He's not really making a move. And basically those IS-4s just want him to peek on so that our little 268 here could get shots in. No War wants more help. He has been spotted again. And we see the IS-4s facing off against the 113s, and this is where the rate of fire from the from the 113s will probably make all the difference. But the IS-4s are working together better. That troll bounced though. And Charlotte is almost gone. Kenta does take another hit. And now the 268 is arriving. And Rosario is not going to survive much longer. And there we go. Now the 263 is arriving. Kawa has been knocked out. The mouse is almost dead, but somehow manages to survive that shot. Not that one though. And we enter the brawl stage. We have the 268 together with the IS-4 facing off against the 263. And here we see 2 mice and the IS-4 facing off against the IS-4 and the other IS-4. Ooh, that was a big hit into the object there. I don't think that Kenta is surviving much longer. But he gets caught by the IS-4 and Kenta gets to live another day. There goes I'm Your Mammy, and now it's only Flash, who can't really do much against 6 enemy tanks, 2 of which are mice, so are tend to get some troll bounces. And there he goes. And the point is for, well, the match is for TBT. And poor Kiri didn't get, well, he probably got a shot in, but he didn't get any damage. He got 5 shots in, but none of them penned. So with a minute and a half left to go, TBT is almost completely ready, and we see the same lineup as last match. But we saw that with the same lineup they can do something different, so it will be fun to see. And on the other side we see XR with a 215B, potentially. Still some tanks not ready to upset, so they might change. But they still have a minute to do so. And we have a 215B, we have 2 E3s, we have two 113s, and an IS-4 and a mouse. Those two E3s can make quite a difference. At the same time, if someone gets behind them, they're a little bit doomed. But it will be fun to see how this pans out, because that's quite a lot of troll armor to have on your team with the mouse and the two E3s. So half a minute left to go. Everyone is ready. We are ready to go. And just to answer those that are in the chat talking about the coins, no, because of all the bugs that happened on the EU and the RU server, Wargaming decided to cancel the coins altogether. So not much we can do about that. And we are ready. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I'm always a little bit afraid that I might not have read it up and stuff like that. It has happened in the past. But here we go. Up, up and away. Let's see what they do. We have pretty much the same tactic happening in mirror style. And we see XR pretty much doing the similar thing. And I wonder if they're gonna go straight into C now. Two Ice Force moving to the corner. Kawe very lucky there because he slowed himself down. E3 taking a bit of damage. Kenta taking a lot of damage. Those two E3s at the middle are quite effective and quite evil. But Rosario also took quite a bit of a hit. Charlotte now taking damage. E3 have been spotted and is pulling back. 268, nice shot into the 113 there. But again, so many different targets. They are not focusing on the same target when they really should. Kenta almost dead now. And he's half protected by his teammate, but he's showing his flank too much to I'm your mammy. Gonna take you in for a little bit of a close look, and there he goes. And HP-wise, XR lost quite a bit as well, but they are not focus firing, and there goes Kawe. Base B now being kept by the mouse, but he's pushing through. We see some mouse-mouse action in the middle there. But TBT has lost two guns. Big shot going into Charlotte there. And it will be very hard to turn these because they have two big guns left. But they are missing two guns in total. Flash losing quite a bit of HP. I'm gonna take you a bit more to the middle here. I'm your mammy arriving to shoot Tau in the ass. E3 reloading. There goes Peto Rush. There goes Tau. And there are too many one-shots left alive on TBT's side, guys. You need to do something about that. 268 moving in. But taking a lot of damage to get anywhere. And this is not looking good. There he goes. He basically... This is sort of like... I wouldn't say YOLO. But it's quite close to it. We have the E3 that is holding back the mouse. That is killing Rosario. E3 versus E3 there. Mouse not able to hold back much longer. And there he goes. He does manage to get another shot in though. And now we have Charlotte getting behind the E3. And that basically means that he's doomed because he has no chance of survival now. He does want to kill, but your mammy doesn't allow it. And the game is for XR. And I think had 268 repositioned himself differently and not gone straight into the line of fire from behind, it might have been quite different. But that is not what happened. And now we have a 2-2 score. And the pressure isn't really on yet because they can still... basically the one that reaches number 4 in victories first is the one that wins. So they still have a bit of chances left. And we go now to Port Bay, the third map. We see TBT almost completely ready with a 140, an E3, 2 mice, 2 113s and an IS4. And XR still changing around, but we see a lot of IS4s there. We see 2 E4s there. Haven't seen those around much. Aside from, I think on Million Runes it was. But we see 1 140, 4 IS4s and 2 E4s. And it will be fun to see what they do with those. 1 IS4s, 2 IS4s. They keep changing their tanks. This isn't fair. I can't really call a lineup when they keep changing like that. But we have 1 Object 140, 2 IS4s and 2 113s and 2 E4s. And I'm curious how those 2 E4s will perform here. But we still have quite a bit of time. Well, not for this match. 20 seconds left, actually. The stream will take quite a bit longer because in 40 minutes the second match is starting. So we have all the time in the world to have those 7 games. And to be fair, the more games we have, the more fun it is. The less waiting time in between the actual matchups. And here we go. And let's see what they do. Up and away. We have TBT focusing all their forces on base C, it looks like. Getting a bit in each other's way there. And we have XR splitting their forces a little bit. The E4 staying behind to have some long distance shots, let's put it that way. 1 E4 being a bit more forward. The Object 140 and the 113 is going towards the corner. Being spotted by Yuzutya, sorry. Charlotte a bit more to the front. We have Kaohe that is moving into a potential cap position. We see some fire going on. And he's more or less troll capping, letting the rest survive. Hoping that they overexpose themselves. We have the mice moving in. We have the E4 coming from the middle. Object 140 has moved back. First shot going in. Kawa is still capping. Not sure if he's gonna get away with it. But he might just be able to. And he does. No war being quite forwards there. Full boy pulling back. The E4 having been spotted. The other E4 now moving in but unspotted. But TBT has a base now, so they have the point advantage. They have the base advantage. Kawe now moving in. And we're gonna see a B cap by the E4 there. Object 140 and 113s retreating. Going towards base A, I think. Mouse taking a bit hit there. And now they are pushing in. Base A is being grabbed by the Object 140. The mouse taking a ton of damage trying to get into this base. And it's not even about decapping anymore. The mouse is not going to survive this. There he goes. And that means that Kawe is now in the middle of 3-4 tanks getting shot to hell. And it cost him way too much to try and decap the base that was already capped. We have the 140 there. And TBT lost 2 guns now. Big shot into the Object 140 there though by the E3. Tau running away, which I think is a good call. Kenta and Asan moving back. Shots being fired into I'm Your Mammy. E4 now pushing in and ooh, that was a big hit. No war, losing a lot of health. Charlotte still alive. E3 repositioning himself to help his mouse. But there he goes either way. And he managed to survive with 28 HP. And now Rory is in a lot of trouble. He got tracked. And it is 6 versus 3. And Kenta is being focused on. They are leaving There goes Kenta. Rory steadily turning around. Toe now losing bleeding HP. The E3 there. But it's not going to do them much good. Especially when that shot does not pen. Pretty much XR has all the bases. Tao almost dead now. One more reload and there he goes. And that is a very expensive shot not to pen, and he loses a ton of HP for that, and there he goes. And with 1k points, XR grabs the point. And again, XR with a very clever push like that. And it is now 2-3, which means that now the pressure is on TBT, because they have to win the next 2 matches, whereas XR has 2 matches to win just 1. So that will be interesting to see what happens now. But so far, both teams have countered the other one quite well in the match after. So it can still go every which way. And we see TBT almost completely ready up with a 140, an E3, 2 mice, 2 113s, and an IS4. Whereas XR is slowly but steadily readying up. And we don't know yet if they're going to change their lineup or not. And they can take the same lineup as before, with 1 Object 140, 2 IS4s, 2 113s, and 2 E4s. I like them using the E4s. It's not really the TD that I would expect them to use, because the E3 can be so much more troll, but the E4 does have a turret even though it can't turn the full way, and that makes it a bit more versatile. It's also a little bit more mobile, but at the same time it's a lot easier to pen as well. So with 20 seconds left to go, we are ready, we are waiting, and like I said, the pressure is on TBT. They have to win the next 2 matches. And XR just has to win 1. And here we go. Countdown clock has commenced. We are ready to go. Here we go. Let's go up and away. Let's see what they do. I just noticed that there's still a Halloween pumpkin in the harbor there, because logic. And we have Tao that is going across the river. Everyone from TBT now focusing on base C. And XR doing pretty much the same thing with the E4s hanging at the back. The mice pushing each other a little bit. Tao having been spotted. Surviving without damage though. And we see Masayasu already positioning near B, potentially ready to cap it at when first notice. Kawa going in for the cap. Wonder if he's gonna get away with it. Rory joining him. Mouse getting ready to move in near base B if need be. That missed though. And now TBT has the base advantage and a point advantage. Kawa pushing on, probably wanting to spot people. We see XR repositioning himself to get the bases. IS4 moving in towards base B. E4 having been spotted. Now base B being grabbed and base A soon following. There we go. And that will give XR the point advantage again. We have Tao firing at base B, but it has already been capped. And now XR will have the point advantage very soon, as they have the cap advantage. Kawa keeping people spotted. TBT moving back, regrouping. Kawa has to be careful peeking out there though. That he didn't get shot there was more luck than anything else. The Object 140 has not been spotted. Charlie is taking some damage. Object 140 at the back. Kawe now losing some damage. And we have the mice now moving in together. Kawe taking way too many chances. He doesn't need to. The mice moving in towards base B. Taking quite a big hit there though. And they were expecting that. They are capping together. And both bases are being capped. But base B is pretty much a bloodbath like this. Rosario taking damage. Rory now moving in. The mice retreating, which I think is a good call. Rosario now that I'm Your Mummy is next on the list. I'm gonna try to give you a view that you can see all of what is happening. I'm Your Mummy taking massive damage. And there he goes. Kawa has been destroyed. Fool Boy is still alive. Big hit into the E4 there. There goes Asan. There goes one of the E4s. The other one being rushed. But again, they are not focus firing. They are going for different targets. Charlotte out of the equation. It is it's 5 versus 3. That bounce though. And we see tanks disappearing left and right. And it is 4 versus 2. 4 versus nearly 1. There goes the object. The mouse pushing Flash into the line of fire. That is just mean. But there he goes. And the point is for TBT. And we got to go have a tiebreaker. So now with the score being 3-3, we are moving on to Canyon. And this will be the match that decides who gets to go to the upper bracket, Group 2, and who gets to go to the lower bracket and might risk being knocked out next match. And we see TBT readying up with 2 Batchats, a 268, an IS-4, potentially 2 113s and a mouse. But changes are still being made, so we don't know exactly if this is what they'll take, but likely. And on XR's side, we see they are still changing tanks and they still have a minute to do so. So we will see what they do. Come on. Tiebreaker matches are great fun. It puts the pressure on both teams. And even though you're not yet knocked out of the tournament if you do this, if you lose this I should say, the pressure is definitely on because you have a breather if you win this. Because you still have the second chance of what happens in the next game that you have. If you lose then, you still have a chance to fight your way back up. And with 20 seconds left to go, we see 1 Object 140, 2 IS-7s, 3 IS-4s and a 263. And we are ready. Let's go, let's go, let's go for this tiebreaker. A lot of straw armor on XR's side, but way more mobility on TBT's side. And this might just be played out by the points. We have a lot of speed boosters going on, heading towards base C. We have the Batchat splitting up on TBT's side, one going to C and one going towards base A. We have I'm Your Mammy likely going towards base B because she can't leave that unspotted. And the Batchat wisely holding, expecting XR to go there. Tau also holding, not really making a move, but they have been spotted now. And now Tau is moving in to get that cap. Base B being capped. If they get away with it, they're in trouble, but they do reset it in time. Kao running away. Base C has been kept, base A now as well. And no war moving around. Kao losing a bit more HP, getting away. Both teams have a base, but XR has a tiny point advantage. And they have about 1k HP advantage. And they are troll capping. And that is costing the IS-7 some HP. But they want them to peek out to show where they are. And no war has to be careful that he doesn't overextend. People being spotted, but not much is happening. We have Tau at the back, 2 Batchats nearing base A. That might go after the Object 140 that is in the blue spawn. But they don't know that he's there yet. I think they mainly want to get that IS-7 out of the equation. The 140 now moving. TBT is pretty much spread out, and that can cost them quite dearly. The mouse shooting the IS-7 there. I'm Your Mummy playing it more careful now. Fool Boy has been spotted. And takes damage. And a lot of shots going his way. Charlotte taking damage now. I'm Your Mummy taking some more damage. Rosario turning back towards the spawn. The 140 making a push. Tau has been spotted. And the 140 decides, yeah, let's not go there. And he's taking a clever position, waiting for Rosario to arrive most likely. And if those 2 batches move in together, they could take him out. But they would have to move fast. They don't know who else is behind there. Most of the team has not been spotted. And we have a cluster at the back there. But not much going on. Cheeky shot going into no war there. He has to be careful. Tau having been spotted. You don't want to be spotted in a batchat. That is quite deadly. And we see XR repositioning himself, but so is TBT. TBT is pulling together towards the place where XR seems to be pushing to. And they have not yet been spotted. And now he's going over. That should be a hint that something is afoot. And now no war has to be careful. He is going over as well, which I think is a good call, even though he might lose some HP doing it. He gets away with it. Troll capping off base B is happening again. And XR is pushing, TBT is retreating. Shots happening, but base B is almost capped, and that is going to be very costly. Base A is being stolen. And no war is in a tricky position. The Batchat's moving in. For Fool Boy and Rory taking quite a bit of damage there. We are at 900 points, and XR has all 3 bases. They will have to make a rush, and they will have to keep the bases or just stay in there. But they're losing a tank, and now we are at 990 points, 1k points, and XR is through to the next round, and TBT is going to the lower bracket. What a game that was. It just built up so slowly, and then the way that XR just grabbed those bases, that made the difference. Lovely to see. So let's see what happened in the other match. Again, I'm not sure entirely who I will be streaming next. They are still going. So they're probably also in their 7th game, I would expect. So we still have 20 minutes left, which means that I'm gonna be streaming you a replay. And let's see. I have a lovely replay from my fellow commentator and streamer. So I'm gonna show you that. Because quite frankly, this is a shameless plug to subscribe to Rolling Swarm because he's nearing 2k subscribers now. And it would be epic if you could reach that before the end of the tournament. And this is a very pretty looking camo on this tank. Looks so black though. I love it. Outlaw sniper is spotting in the middle. The rebel wants to go places that we don't want to. And the thing is, with the T30 you can be so nice in forwards because it has epic gun depression. And an epic gun. It does take a time to aim though. E5 not being happy. Oh, that is just asking for it. Object 268 has been spotted. But he is pulling back. No, I think that hit the snow, but not entirely sure. Why is there an FV there? E5 is probably the one camping at the back and he's like annoyed. It's actually your fault for going there and then camping. What the hell is wrong with you? You're in E5, come on. And now they are waiting for a target. The campers have potentially been spotted. And there's not much we can do. We just have to wait. STB has been taken out of the equation. AMX going YOLO. Not sure what he thought he would accomplish with doing that. He does get some help. But this is going to be the end of the proto, I think. Yeah, there we go. But now we have Brian that has been standing still for quite a bit. And no damage has been done, so he's basically losing. Why are people so rude? It's so useless. And he's in a good position. Ooh, that missed though. VK potentially pushing up. So he has to be careful about that as well. FV trying to peek out. Nice little bounce there. There we go. But we still have the FV and the VK and the T30 there. The Batchat, I mean, not the FV. VK is spotting. Nice cheeky shot there. Waffle being upset. And with only the VK there, the Batchat running away, I would want to shoot that Batchat. Not even HE, but he does hit it. Which takes a nice chunk of HP out of him. .268 arriving. Nice bounce. And they are steadily running out of time. There's not all that much time left. T30 is around there somewhere as well, or it used to be at least. Ooh, that bounce. T30 has been spotted. There he goes. 2 guys left. The barely alive Batchat and the VK here. He did not have to do that with HE. The Batchat now getting some shots in. There goes the Batchat though. And with 3.6k damage, that is not very heavy, but he did block quite a bit of it, and I think he spotted quite a bit as well. And that is a nice ace with a patrol duty of 3.5k spotting damage. Nicely done. But like I said, look up his channel, subscribe, let's get him to 2k subs. And let's see if we have a result yet. Semi-finals upper bracket. I think that means that we don't know yet. It is 4-2. And that means we get low versus TBT. Or I get to stream XR versus TNM. I'm not entirely certain, but we will know in about 15 minutes. So I can still play you another replay. Because it takes some time before we actually get the room invite. And you don't want me playing PC. So let's see what I have for you. Let's see. Some of these I've already shown you. I forgot to to pin a different replay yesterday. And that means I'm not entirely certain where I left off. Okay, let's go for this one. Oh, that's not what the button I meant to press. Here we go. Haven't seen or played this tank all that much lately. It is a fun tank though. I quite like it. It was... Until the Proto came along, I think it was my favorite tier 9 med. But the Proto is something else altogether and it's just absolutely lovely. Nice little cheeky position there. Nice little shot. You have to be careful of the campers there though. I like it when they show their like behind like that. Nice little bounce. No HP left. 3 shots into the STB. The STB is gonna be like, what? So he's now trying a different position. And again. But now we have a sort of YOLO IS-8. And our guy is content to cap the base. And he's not even managing to kill off the STB. Ooh, that missed though. But now the IS-8 managed to do it. We have an E4 that is moving in. And he seems to be content going after the IS-8. That was a very hasty shot. Nice bounce. He has to be careful of that grill and the IS-4. IS-4 moving towards him. Oh, this is lovely. By all means, get behind an E4. Because he can't turn his turret the whole way. So if you just stay behind him, he is basically doomed. Grill isn't though, and don't drive in front of the E4. Oh my god, don't do that. That was completely unnecessary. It's actually the T95 that appeared, not the grill. That bounce though. This has got to be one of the luckiest T54s I've ever seen. And now he just needs to stay behind there. And make that work. And bounce on the bomb of a T95. Nice little fire. T95 wanted to get away. Yeah, that's not happening. You saw what we was trying to do here. Be careful though. You don't want to get shot. There we go. We are 5k damage into it. He kept the base as well. And for some miraculous reason he is still alive. And there we go. No, don't say that. You can't say that. That's so rude. $310 supremacy points, 5.1k damage. Very nicely done. And with a bit of luck, I should add. So let's see, how long have we got left? 18 minutes. That means that I can at least show you another replay. Reasons I'm showing you replays, by the way, is very easy. I can't play PC to save my life, and you honestly don't want me to. Because I am very awful on PC. I'm not good with using the mouse with one hand and the keyboard with another. And I would basically drive into things and all of that. He wants the team to get B, but he's not going to do it himself. Base B is being kept, base D is being kept. We know that there's a fast tank there, and that can be very, very juicy. Nice little shot there. Even though he blocked his teammate just a little bit, it was worth it for nearly 1k damage in one shot. CDC moving in. Borsig arriving at the scene. I hope the Borsig is the next target. Ooh, that hit the gun though. Not much damage. And they're being quite hesitant. Nice. A kill shot is not something I would generally make with HE unless someone has very, very, very low HP. And there goes the other one. And now he's moving in nicely. Nice little kill there. Capping the base. Nice sight to the STI there. The STI is gonna feel a lot of hurt. There we go. And he's capped the base. Not sure what the STI is doing. But I think it's gonna be that soon. There we go. How does the 120 bounce on the side of the turret like that? I have no idea. For those that are hearing some background noises, I live at a very busy road. There's one. Ah, nice max roll. 121 just murdered himself. Base C now being kept. RT30 having plenty of HP left. He does take a shot for that, but he's nearly 5k damage in 4 kills. And there's only one TD left. The question is, where is he? Yeah, probably at base A. So he's taking a position where he can shoot base A. There he is. Oh, that was just mean. Oh my god. 5.3k damage. Very nicely done. 4 kills. 268 supremacy points. Nice battle. So let's see, how long have we got left? 13 minutes. Thought it was actually starting at 1 minute past, but okay. I don't want to risk showing you another replay. We still technically have time. Well, we have 12 minutes. I should be able to, if it is not too long a game. So let's see, what else have I got for you? Let's see, I have a nice little quick game. Yeah, I'm kind of nervous to do this because you just don't know. No, I'm actually not gonna risk it. We're gonna go look at maps. And let's see. We actually, no, actually, I can't look at maps because we don't know what maps we're gonna get. Oh my god. We have the potential of, let's see. Let's see what maps we might get. This is not the one that I wanted. I wanted the chart. I have a feeling we're gonna get this, but I don't know entirely. And then we will get Dynasty Sprawl, Faust, Naval Frontier, and Black Goldfields. I'm just gonna prepare for that, and then we will see. So, like I said, Dynasty Sprawl looks like this. You have base A, which is more in the city. Base B, that is very hard to get between the buildings. And base C, that is in a little bit of a square, but with some hills around. I personally prefer the positioning around base C, because I feel that it is easier to dominate from there than from the other side, and it's also easier to get shots into base B if someone is foolish enough to try and cap it. So that is the first map that we're gonna get. The second map that I said, we actually have plenty of time, so we can go over a little bit more. Base A is pretty open, but most teams seem to focus around base B and C, which means that A can be a free cap at times. We have seen a lot of brawls on this map that all happen around base C area. Well, between B and C actually. And I'm curious to see what we will do now, because with Asia, mainly every battle it goes like, we have tactics, we go to tactical positions, get tactical things, and then we enter a full-out brawl regardless of whatever tactics we had. And that makes it quite entertaining, but it also makes it very unpredictable. So after Dynasty Sprawl, we are gonna go to pretty much my favorite map of the game, and that is Faust. Faust looks like this. You have 4 bases, C and D closest to their respective spawns, B in the middle, which is a very cheeky cap, and base A, that is generally the mid base, but it is quite open and hard to cap if there is someone protecting it. And it's just, I love this map. I love the tunnels. I love the bridges that we have. And it just makes so many different positions and tactics possible, because you can get shot from so many different angles and you can get shots in from so many different angles. It's just a really fun map in my opinion. So after Faust, we are moving on to Naval Frontier, which looks like this. You have base C, which is the met base considered. We have base A and B quite close together, A on an elevated plateau. Again, lots of lines of fire into pretty much all the bases. And I personally prefer going to base A and then just taking either base B or just seeing how the battle develops and going where I need to go. And that is something that I've not really seen in the Clan Wars thing. People generally tend to focus on base C on this map. And I find that generally, not just on this map, I find it quite funny how the tactics that happen in Clan Wars differ so much from what you would expect in random battles. And of course it makes sense, because this is a team battle. As a team that is communicating and all of that, you can basically go any which way you want. But still, I still expect them to go to places that I would find logical. But mostly it's about dominating the map, and you don't have to just be in a certain place and to hold that. Basically, you move as a team, you talk as a team, and you make the push together. So that is Naval Frontier. After Naval Frontier, if we get a tiebreaker, we go to Black Goldfield. Black Goldfield looks like this. You have base C, which is the heavy base. Base A, that is the met base. Base B, that is in the middle. B, very tricky to cap. All bases are tricky to cap depending on where the enemy is, to be fair. Because there's so many lines of fire possible into every one of them. It is quite a fun map. It is one of the somewhat larger ones, or at least it takes a bit longer to drive around everything, I think. Personally, I prefer to go base A on this map, especially if I'm in a fast tank. If I'm in a super heavy, I want to go base C, but it is quite hard to go somewhere in a very heavy tank and then still be effective for the rest of the map, basically, and that is difficult. But yeah, those are the maps that we will be getting, hopefully, if we have this matchup. But if we do not have this matchup, we are gonna go to completely different maps. So I'm gonna wait for the room invite. I might have to do a quick map thing with you then again. We honestly don't know. I would expect me to stream the upper bracket, but we don't know. And TBT has been steadily performing the most consistent on the Asia server, so it will be interesting to see what happens with this, because Low has done quite well as well, along with TNNM, but XR was steadily at the bottom until the round 2 of the round robins. And then they worked their way up. So we have 2 minutes before the room invite is up. I'm just gonna let you admire my pretty tier 1 tank that I've not really driven. Not much else going on here. We have the garage. I have literally nothing in this whole game. Look at this. I have a few tier 1 tanks because I had the tier 1s of the old one. I've not really played this. This is my amazing stats. 58 of these battles, by the way, have all happened in tournaments. I've not played them. I played actual 5 battles. But the 58 tournament battles do show up, because every battle that I stream, my battle count goes up, which is really weird because I have nothing above tier 1 on this account. So I find that quite funny. It's the same thing with the press accounts that I use to stream both NA and EU. It's just funny. So we are pretty close to getting the room invite. We just have to be patient a little bit longer. And with a little bit, I mean around 20 seconds, I guess. And then we're also gonna know which teams we will be watching. And though upper bracket is, of course... Look, we have a room. And we are going to Dynasty Sprue. We have XR versus TNNM. But I was gonna say that streaming the lower bracket can be a lot of fun as well, because the pressure is so on in those matches. Because basically they just have to... They have to win if they want to go through. If they lose the matchup, they're out of the tournament. And that makes for a very different pressure, because with these two, we know that whoever loses this still has a chance to work their way back into the finals. So it's a different kind of pressure. And I know that for the EU server, I am actually following the lower bracket tonight. So that should be fun. NA, I have no idea yet. Probably the upper bracket, but I don't know. It hasn't been confirmed. So it will be, like I said, I use this word hello. It will be interesting, because it is. I'm taking a little bit of a drink there, because all this talking is making my throat quite dry. And we just wait patiently. There is no map on the screen. We are ready to go to Dynasty Sprue. And we are waiting for the teams to come in. We have XR that is ready with the full team. TMM is very lonely right now with Enjoy. But they still have 3.5 minutes to actually appear, and they could be in the middle. We don't know. We don't see that part. Also, for all the ones that are watching, hello. I'm sorry I'm not really reacting to the chat. That is mainly to do with the fact that there's a delay of 5 minutes, which means that everything you say that I would respond to, you would hear the response in like 5 minutes, which is quite useless. So I tend to just nod. But I don't want anyone to feel like I'm ignoring them, so hello! And thank you all for watching. I hope you're enjoying it. And I will be back tonight with streaming the EU server. And then later on in that night with the NA server. And then next weekend with the grand finals for all 3 servers. So that should be great fun. This is basically the pinnacle of the servers. Because we have the only one that I'm not following, well, the only 2 I'm not following are China and RU. China would be pretty much defeating the point, because I believe they have YouTube blocked. And RU, I don't speak the language, I have no idea what's going on there. And they have their own streamers, and they their matches overlap ours in EU. So I don't want to risk that. And to be fair, I am from the EU, so the EU stream would be my own personal favorite. And that is everything to do with knowing a lot more about the teams, about the clan politics, about the people that are playing. I mean, this is my first time streaming Asia, and I don't know all that much about it yet. And I like having streamed this many matches for Asia, because it gives me a better understanding of what's going on here, and potential teams that I would like to follow next time. Because yeah, I absolutely love streaming the tournaments, and I would love to stream more tournaments in the future. So if I can make that work time-wise, that is something I absolutely want to do. So I've pretty much talked away quite a bit of time. We have 1 minute left to go before we actually go into the match. And we see XR ready with an Object 140, an IS-4, an E3, an IS-7, 2 113s and an E4. And we see TNNM with 2 IS-4s, 2 mice, 2 Object 140s and an AMX-50B. Usually we see always 2 or more AMX-50Bs, and that's everything to do with they can clip people together. A lone AMX is pretty much unable to clip one tank on its own. So he will need some, well, actually protection is I think the right word, and a team member to help him while he's on long reload. Unless they plan to use him like sort of a sniper TD. But one AMX is not nearly as imposing and as threatening as 2 AMXs. So it will be fun to see what they do with that. We have 10 seconds left to go before we go into the match. I'm just making sure that there is no screen no map on the screen. And we are ready. Let's go. And whoever wins this is through to the finals. And whoever loses this is through to the lower bracket, but still has a chance to go back to the finals. And here we go, up and away. We have XR focusing entirely on the base C side, whereas most of TMN is going towards the middle. We have the Object 140 holding back, probably there to react. I wonder if the Object 140 here... Yeah, he is going into base B. That is a very cheeky thing if he gets away with that. It will be very hard for TNM to grab that base back. We have I'm Your Mammy moving into base C. And that will definitely give XR the point and base advantage. They have base B. Object now moving away, not wanting to get shot in the bum. He does lose some HP, but so does Chariot for peeking over. And now XR has 2 bases. And basically they will have to hold these bases if they want it to work. Some shots being fired, not a lot of damage being done yet. XR having positions where they can basically build on each other. E3 turning around, having been spotted. Not sure what he's doing there. I think he wants to see who's coming. TMM more or less splitting up. Object 140 in position. Both IS-4s have been spotted. The mouse has been spotted. I think it's a bad call to leave Charlotte alone like this. Especially with the 2 mice and him being very, very forwards. This is not a good call on Charlotte's part. We have TNM pushing those IS-4 basically being a distraction. Shots firing all around. AMX taking some damage. IS-4's pulling back. Charlotte losing a ton of HP. And we have XR now moving in. They will need to focus fire, and they will need to focus fire very properly if they want to do this. Rosario losing a ton of HP. But there goes the AMX. And there goes Charlotte. And now the E4 is turning around to deal with the mouse. No idea why they didn't shoot the 113 there. Object 140 is taking a big hit there. There he goes. And now it's... Both teams have lost tanks now. It is 5 versus 4. Base B is being capped. The mouse is now almost gone. There we go. Now we have another mouse to go. It is 5 versus 3. E3 still alive. And we are already at 1k points and XR has the first game. I just saw Maddox say, congrats, you now have more tournament battles than 99% of the Asia server population. I can just about imagine that, to be honest. Tournaments just don't seem to be all that big in Asia. Which is a shame, because it's just so, well, for me at least, it's so much fun to commentate on. But yeah, we have 1 minute and a half left to go for the second match on Dynasty Pro. And then we will be going onwards. We have TNM now completely ready with 2 mice, 2 IS-4s, 2 Object 140, 2 Object 140s, and the AMX 50B. So that is the same lineup, I believe, as we saw last battle. And we have XR still changing things around a little bit. We see a YOLO wagging appearing on the field with 140, 2 IS-4s, 2 113s, a 263, and a mouse potentially. I'm guessing that they're going to keep the mouse because it does work, especially on a map like this. And in half a minute we are ready to go. Tanks being changed around, but the lineup remains the same, just different people driving them. And we are at 10 seconds. We are ready to go. And let's see what they do. Let's see where they go. And here we go. Second match on Dynasty Sprawl. And now we have XR focusing on the other side of the battle. And we see TNM basically doing the same thing. But the Object 140 is heading towards base B. And we might see a sort of reverse of what we saw before. The IS-4s are moving in. One of the IS-4s have been spotted on both sides. 2 of them now. We have the mouse that is moving in, losing a little bit of HP already. A little bit more. The YOLO wagon driving in, but doing no damage. The AMX almost escaping with full health. But this is quite an aggressive push by XR. And they're about to meet some mice. The Object 140 is now going in there. The YOLO wagon driving through base A. Object 140 taking damage. But basically they are at a disadvantage. They are bleeding HP. This is way too aggressive gameplay. It's not necessarily too aggressive, but it costs them too much because they are too spread out. And this is not gonna work. There goes Yuzutya. There goes Flash. And they are focusing on taking out these mice, but it's taking way too long. There goes the 263. And this game, I can already call it. This game is for TNM. And that is because XR played too aggressively. And they didn't coordinate properly. They've already lost 3 guns. 4 now. And they're not focus firing. They're shooting different targets. And the mouse might die now too. But it's basically costing them the whole game to get those mice out of the way. And now it's 3 versus 2 versus 5. Look at the difference in HP. That's nearly 7k. It is 7k difference. They are driving a bit in each other's way now. Your Mammy is the only one left. He's not going to survive for much longer. He does get one more shot that doesn't do damage. And the game is for TNM. And that's a shame because it had so much potential. But XR just pushed in way too aggressively. So now it is 1-1 and we are moving on to Faust. My lovely Faust. We see tanks being readied up. They still have 1.5 minutes left to do so. And we see TNM almost completely readied up with a Leo 1, 2 113s, 2 AMX 50Bs and potentially 2 mice. Interesting lineup, but it can very well work on this map. And we see XR now completely ready up with 3 140s, 2 IS-4s, a mouse and a 113. And basically anything can happen. Because it can still go every which way. 40 seconds left to go, we are ready to go. People are potentially changing tanks. Or loadout maybe camo. And 20 seconds left. And 10, here goes the countdown clock. And here we go. third game. First game on Faust. And just to clarify, there are no more coins. Wargaming basically disabled that because there were some technical issues on EU and RU with them. And we have XR moving towards base A, ignoring base D, which I think is not really the best thing to do, because that is a free cap that you can get. And that will give TNM a point advantage that you don't really want them to have. Base A being capped now, but base D has been abandoned and it's basically a free cap. We have the mouse moving into base B now. And he is losing some HP for that, but not all that much. And now TMM is capping 2 bases at once. And they will very likely have a massive point advantage because of it. Base B almost capped. We see HP being lost because they tried to decap the bases that they should have been defending to begin with. XR now moving on, potentially to steal base C. The mouse in trouble. The IS-4 is here as well. And they are losing too much HP trying to decap base B and get it back. Charlotte losing quite a bit of HP for that. Now the rest of XR is moving in. The mouse is being murdered, but Charlotte might not live to tell the tale. That bounce is very vital, that bounce as well. There he goes, but both teams have lost a player. And HP wise, XR is bleeding. And look at the bases. The points going up are still very much going up in TMM's favor. We see HP being bled, Object 140 almost dead. He's not gonna survive this one. The mouse is still alive somehow. But there he goes. Both teams have lost 2 tanks, but there's quite a bit of point advantage. IS-4, I'm your mammy, is now gone. We see the Object 140 facing off against the 113. And this is just a bloodbath. And I think this games will be TMNMs because they already have the point advantage, and the focus fire is few and far between on both sides, to be fair. (113) and the Object 140 going after the Leo. Leo still alive somehow. AMX almost reloaded. There goes the Leo, but now the AMX can clip him. He's alone versus 3, this is not looking good. And there he goes, and the point is, the game is for TMMM. So in a minute and a half we get to see the second match on Faust. And well, they still have some time. The one that reaches the fourth victory first is the one that wins. So there's not too much pressure yet. I'm just gonna say Wargaming disabled the coins due to technical difficulties. Because otherwise you will hear this in 5 minutes and that is not really useful for you guys. So we have less than a minute left to go. We have TNM ready up with a Leo, 2 AMX 50Bs, 2 113s and 2 mice. And we have XR ready with an Object 140, an IS-7, a mouse, an IS-4, 2 113s and an E4. So with 20 seconds left to go, we are ready. And I wish we could see like the intermediate stances in the other matches as well. But for some reason Wargaming doesn't do that anymore. It only shows the end result when it's there. And here we go. Second match on Faust. Let's go up, up and away. X are not entirely certain where they will go, getting in each other's way. Not sure what they're gonna do. Yuzitya going to cap base C, I mean. Base D also being kept. There are lines of fire possible, but I don't think they're risking it. Rosario already losing some HP. Quite a bit of HP getting in there. They both want that position, but neither of them is really getting it. And TMM is mainly around base B here, so we might see a potential cheeky mouse cap again. Or an attempt to, at least. Both mice are moving in there. AMX losing quite a bit of HP. Mouse potentially in trouble. Kiririt losing a lot of HP. Why would you go after them like that? Don't fall off. Oof, that cost you way more than one shot. Rosario losing more HP. And there we go. 2 guns gone on TMN side. But it's costing them a lot of HP to do so. The mouse now singled out. He has to be careful though. Charlotte and Kirit changing positions. I'm your Mammy only just not falling off. You have the AMX 50Bs arriving at the back. They have to be careful there. I'm your Mammy taking a bit of a fall. Mouse moving in through the middle. And this is all about the focus fire. It depends on who gets to live longest. There goes Charlotte. AMX steadily getting away. Both tanks died. And now it is 4 versus 4. With the mouse moving in. Both of them. Object 140 facing off against the AMX that has almost reloaded his clip. And he's gonna get clipped really bad now. The E4 is almost dead. And again, it works so nicely, but it's an uncoordinated push. And it doesn't work. So now it is... We have some fighting going on down below here. Versus the mouse. I'm your Mammy almost dead. There he goes. And it's 1 versus 3. And in random battles, I would think that you could pull this off. But at the same time, the AMX has just completely reloaded. There's a building in the way of my view range here. And the AMX is going for it. Rosario using the corpses. Which I think is a good call. But it's not gonna last him for long. And if he falls now, he's basically dead, but he's dead anyway. And the game goes to TNNM. And that means that it's 1-3, which means that the pressure is definitely on XR. Because if they want to go straight through to the finals here, they have to win both next games in order to do so. Whereas TNM just has to win 1 game in 2 games. So that's less pressure. Changes being made in the team up. We are moving to Naval Frontier. And we are ready to go Or at least I am. They are still readying up and deciding what they want to drive. But we have potentially a team of... Actually, I'm not going to call it yet when more than half the team is not readied up. There's not much use to it, because the chances of them still changing tanks is quite big. And we have XR almost ready. TMM changing things. And we see XR with an Object 140, 2 IS-4s, an IS-7, a mouse, a 113 and an E4. And that seems to be a little bit of a generic lineup that they use. This is something that we have seen them use quite a bit already. Potentially a tank change going on. We are 9 seconds in. They have to ready up. We see TNM with an IS-4, an AMX 50B, a mouse, 2 mice actually, a 140, a 113 and a Batchat. And here we go. The pressure is on XR. But again, even if they don't win this, they still have a chance to fight their way back into the finals. And here we go. And we see XR focusing primarily on base A, with one object probably overlooking a bit towards C and a bit towards B. The heavy lineup not yet having been spotted going over. Now they have though, so they know where they will be. And they are pretty much free to cap this base. Which they are doing. And I think the mouse might push in for base B. One of the mice, that is. Shots being fired, but base A has been capped, and that means that XR will have a slight point advantage, but now the mouse is moving in. And they will have to decap that base. IS-4 taking some damage. But they are not decapping. And that means that now the advantage is in TNM's side. I'm your mammy taking damage there. Over angling. And they will have to grab base B or base C, but I wouldn't advise base C because they are strongest right there. We have the mice that are focused here. IS-7 is gonna encounter Pecore together with the IS-4. Chariot losing quite a bit of HP being there. E4 losing a ton of HP. And they will have to focus fire. We have the Object 140 now moving in. Kapkan is losing HP very quickly. He is not surviving this. We have the AMX that is almost reloaded. And the team is leaving him to it when he's got a near full clip. He's now got a full clip. He will clip that 140 very likely. Chances of him surviving this are slim to none. And that is... He managed it. He's surviving this. And now the AMX will die. The 113 being protected by the... Ooh. There goes the AMX. There goes the IS-4. TNM has lost now 3 tanks. Mouse versus an object here. And an IS-7. We've seen IS-4 versus a mouse at the back. E4 arriving. Not doing all that much damage to the Batchat though. There goes Rosario. But it is 6 versus 4. 6 versus 3. The mouse is now in trouble. Kiri's gonna be rushed by the Batchat. He misses that shot, which is quite vital. They are stealing the bases. The E4 arriving. That Batchat, ooh, the E4 is gonna be gone. And now it is 4 versus 3. But if that shot from the mouse pans, the IS-7, and I'm not entirely certain who will reload faster. I think the Batchat. It's actually the mouse that kills it. Now it's 3 versus 3. 3 versus 2. There we go. Now we only have a Batchat left. And there he goes. And the game is for XR. That could have gone either way. And I thought for sure that AMX will kill the object. And I think the object was very, very lucky that he didn't. So now it is 2-3. Again, still the pressure is on XR because they have to win every single match now in order to go straight through to the finals. Whereas TNM still has 2 games to win 1. And we see TNM completely ready for the second match on Naval Frontier with an IS-4, an AMX-50B, 2 mice, Object 140, 1 more even, and a 113. And we see XR ready with an Object 140, 2 IS-7s, an IS-4, a mouse, a 113, and an E4. With still 1 minute left to go, we are ready to go. And we just have to wait a tiny bit patiently. I see the question, pref on this map, rush C, hill or A? I would always go A on Naval Frontier, and I always feel that that is the best way to go, mainly because I think you can move towards the rest of the map better after you cap it, depending on how the battle develops. But like I said, I have seen it happen quite often that it goes the other way in tournament battles like this. And we are almost ready to go. We are 14 seconds for the second match on Naval Frontier. And here we go. Dun 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 dun. And let's go up, up and away. I like the pretty pink camo, by the way. It looks really good on pretty much all tanks. We have XR focusing on A and B at this time. And we see TNM focusing on, I think, B and C. The 113s might be in for an early cap, but they will encounter a mouse there. So it might be a bit hard to cap. But if they manage to do so unspotted, that would be grand. 113 has been spotted. He takes a shot immediately. But he is still capping. We have TNM moving in. The mouse going back for base B again. And they can't really afford to let him cap that. There we go. Base A capped. Base C capped. You have to shoot the mouse. He does reset the cap. But it's only basically extending time. Mouse moving in for the IS-4. Mouse taking a lot of shots but no damage yet. And now base B has also been capped, and that puts the pressure back on XR. Especially with the 140s at the back there. The IS-7 and the IS-4 and the 140 are moving to deal with that. E4 is changing position. The 113 is joining them. They will have to make a push. I'm Your Mammy is still there. The ship's guns just fired. Big shot going into the IS-4 there. By the 113 here. And the pressure is on XR to do something. They will have to make a move. They will have to push together if they want to make this work. We see the 113 and the IS-7 pushing. I wonder if the Object 140 is going to come with, but it looks like it. So I'm going to take you over there so that we see that bit of action. They have not yet been spotted, but they are moving together. And they are going to be in a world of pain soon. But they stop. Why? If you're rushing, you need to rush. You don't need to stop. Obachan is almost dead. It is vital that they take out these 140s. We see the mouse taking damage. Isa taking a lot of damage as well. Obachan is almost dead. Base A now also being capped. They need the bases. And the Object 140s got away. One of them is almost dead, but he has a mouse to protect him. The E4 is in trouble. The IS-7 is in trouble. There goes the 140. People are bleeding HP. Anything can happen. The mouse pushing the the E4. Them missing the shot. Both teams have lost the gun now. And it is about the focus fire. Which team focus fires better? The E4 almost dead. So is the IS-4 here. Mouse moving in. Both teams have lost 3 guns now. Anything can happen. We entered a full out brawl. AMX has been reloaded. It is 3 versus 4 now. And that getting that AMX out of the equation is so important. It is 3 versus 2. We are 980 points. This is going to be TNM's game, and TNM is through to the finals. Because they're not gonna get away with this. There we go. Timer hit. They're still shooting. There's still people dying. But the game is for TNM, and TNM has the point. I say has the point, but they're through to the big finals. So let's see what happened if we know a result yet for the other stage. That is still going on. So I am gonna play you another replay. So let's see what I have in store for you. Yeah, let's go for this one then. And then we're gonna check the scores. Pretty pink camo, looks good on everything, like I said. And we have Thibaut moving towards base C. This is the tank. I haven't played it all that much. I'm not that big a fan of it. I've seen it do amazing in tournaments. It just doesn't really fit my playstyle. And he isn't even going for the cap. He's going for a bush and a building. He's wanting to hug the building. Like the little butterflies. They are grabbing C, but no one is around to... So we are waiting. Both teams have a base now. But not much is going on. I wonder if he's gonna grab base B. One of the TDs is staying back in base C, no idea why. That Jaeger is gonna be a world of pain for our AMX. Especially if he keeps driving into rocks like that. But he did lose most of his HP trying to get around the corner. Thibaut changing positions. Waffle was almost dead. Pretty hesitant gameplay. There goes the yak. That bounce. There we go. Nicely done. And any DS would love an AMX. Now we know he's fired though. So Thibaut is moving in. That bounced, but he got saved before he could be shot. And he has one more shot left. And now he's reloading the clip, which I think is a good call. E75 gonna be circled. He is not stopping to cap the base. Thibaut has no interest in bases. There we go, now they can clip him. Or at least he can. There we go. It is 3 versus 2. Points are not all that different. And Thibaut is just moving in. Now the enemy has a base advantage. And I think Thibaut is gonna cap base A, which I think is a very good call right now. There we go, now they have 2 bases, so they will fast get the point advantage back. Even if they start capping base C now, that is fine as long as they don't cap base B as well. He has been spotted. Bad shot moving in. And our AMX is going straight for him. And ended up with the ram. And now it is 1v1. And Thibaut will soon have a full clip. There he goes. It's AMX versus AMX. Nice little bounce there. And we hit 1k points. 5.2k damage. Thibaut still survives. Nice little age. Let's see how many supremacy points he got. Only 230. But still a lovely little game. Let's see if we have a score yet. Do we know yet? No, we don't. Should be up any minute now, so I'm not gonna play you another replay. We are just gonna wait a little bit before we know the results. Should be up in maybe 5 minutes. Actually, I could play you another replay then. Let's see. Let's go for this one. I haven't seen, well, I have seen the FE being played, of course. But I always wonder if it has such a big difference now that it has had a little bit of a nerf. He is moving unsteadily, waiting for a target that is not there. He's fully expecting someone there though. But if he stays here and takes a lot of time getting shots in, with the reload already being that slow, it is not gonna go well for him. Base B being capped, he's being very, very careful. Which on its own isn't necessarily a bad feature. That shot, this is like, I don't even aim and I pen. That is quite evil. T-50s and heavy arriving. There we go. That is the end of the E5. They need to play this carefully though. We have a grill at the back there, which would be a very, very juicy target. Shots being fired at the back. Jaeger arriving. And that is the end of the Jaeger. But they need to be careful that E75 needs to be taken out. E5 pulling back. I'm not sure if I agree with this move. That works. We are 4.4k damage in. E5 is almost dead though. It is 3 versus 3. I think the E5 won't live to tell the tale. Oh, this is just waiting for it. There we go. E75 is left. 5.5k damage in. He can safely move in even though he has 10-second reload. Not sure why you're trying to angle your tank. You have no armor to speak of. And you won't die anyway. 5 kills, 5.8k damage. Nicely done. Bit hesitant gameplay, but it worked out very well. Some very nice HE shots. Only 6 shot fired, nearly 6k damage. That's pretty evil. So let's see, do we have a result yet? Do we know what we're gonna see next Saturday? And drumroll. Come on. We still don't know what the hell is going on here. Okay, so it should be up any moment now, so I'm not gonna play you another replay. Because let's do the math. You have 7 matches of 7 minutes. That is 49 minutes with 2 minutes in between. That means that it shouldn't take more than an hour. So they really should have a result in a few minutes. And I doubt every match lasted a full 7 minutes. So let's see. Do we know yet? I'm not sure how fast it reloads if I have to go out of the whole thingy. I just want to know what happens and I don't want to show another replay. So in any case, I will be back tonight to stream stages for the EU server. Back later on in the night to stream stages from the NA server. And then we will follow up next weekend, I think, for the grand finals. So let's have a look, see, do we have a result yet? Come on. I wanna know. Can't let you go without having the results, can I? But we still don't. Those have to be very long games. But we want to know who gets knocked out and who is through to the lower bracket to fight against XR. And XR has been fighting quite nicely. I've loved the way that they've countered some things. And they generally have pretty nice focus fire, but it just didn't work out against TNM. Some matches it did. It could have gone either which way, to be fair. Let's see. Give us a score, please. Loading. Loading. We still don't know. So we are just waiting, not really patiently, but we are just waiting to see what happens. So let's have another look. Not much to talk about right now, to be honest. Mainly just waiting for the results to come in. Come on, it should be over now. Technically, it can still be going on. It says it refreshes every 5 minutes, doesn't say which 5 minutes though. But okay then, I'll play you one more replay. And then we will see. I don't know yet which I want to show you. Okay, considering the text that went with it is Praise RNGesus, that should be fun game to watch. Let's see where it goes. On this map I would generally tend to focus base A in the map, especially when you have more mats than the enemy team does. And Dan agrees. And he's not going for the cap, he's going for a spotty to see who is there, which can be quite cheeky, but they kind of need the bases because it's supremacy, but he's trusting his teammate to do that, I think. Enemy team is grabbing base B. And his team is not grabbing base A. A little bit of a bounce there. Death Star having been spotted. Who's now also giving Dan the evil eye. But he misses. And that is lucky for Dan. Not sure what the 1A3 is trying to do here, aside from wiggle into the line of fire. Taking quite a bit of damage. He is now waiting for Dan. That was a too hasty shot. And I think we're gonna see some damage happening to this spore. There we go. But he does kill him off. That is not really a hit I would risk taking this early in the battle. And the Waffle now making an appearance. Nice little cheeky shot there. And then is going in for the Waffle. T-57 heavy also there. But Waffle has priority, bigger gun. 183 is unhappy. Poor thing. You should have aimed for the turret there then. Nice shot there. Waffle's still alive though. And he is a bit hesitant to make a move. I think he wants to... Ooh, almost, but not quite. They need to take out the Waffle though, he's still hiding. There he goes. T-Fist is heavy also being taken out. IS-4 now moving in. Nice little slider there. Nice little tracker shot. PTA will be taken out soon though. There he goes. And now it is 1 versus 2. And this is nice using a corpse like that. Well, Dan has to be careful with the IS-4 potentially coming up behind him. Leo trying to offer some friendly advice, which is not really friendly or nice. Nice bounce on the bum. He does track him down and turn him. There we go. 4k damage in. Both teams have a base, but the enemy has a point advantage. Nice little fire. He has to be careful though, he's showing too much of his rear to the IS-4. And there we go. 4.5k damage, nearly, well, it's actually 5k damage. Nicely done. And 100 supremacy points. Nice battle. That fire definitely helped. Otherwise it might have gone quite differently. This is not where I want to go. I want to go here. To see if we have a result yet. We should have it now. It's still not showing. This is what just what? Honestly, guys. It should be just there already. It's been an hour. You can't tell me they've had 7 draws. It doesn't work like that. Show me a score. Any score, please. Not this. Some people are saying things in the chat. I don't know how to speak symbols. I'm sorry. I honestly have no idea, but I'll throw it through the translator to see if they are perhaps telling me what happened. It actually makes absolutely no sense what they are saying. At least when I throw it to Google Translate. So we are just waiting for the result and it's taking forever and it should be there already. And with a stream of 2 hours, I kind of need a break. So I would like to have a result to see who goes on to which match and who has been knocked out. Actually, sorry, I've been completely stupid. Low has been knocked out. TBT won from them. Oh my god, my lord. This is like, I've been streaming so much, getting very little sleep. I've been absolutely noobing. But yeah, Low has been knocked out. We see TBT and XR next weekend, and the winner of that will go against TNM in the grand finals. That is basically how it will go. And I'm sorry for noobing about that. I will finish the stream now. Thank you all for watching. Thanks all the teams for participating and for having some lovely gameplay. And I really liked commentating. I love watching matches like these. And like I said, I'll be back tonight for the EU matches and later on for the NA matches. And then next weekend for the grand finals of all 3 servers. So have a good day and I'll be seeing you guys tonight hopefully. Good night.